If you want to kill your audience's interest in a movie, look no further than The Last Voyage of the Demeter, a sort of in-betweenquel to the novel Dracula, showing how Dracula was transported from Transylvania to England. Don't get me wrong, I actually thought the movie was okay. Sure, I have some nitpicks, like if this is supposed to lead into most of the events of Dracula, and in the book, Dracula is able to walk among the general public pretty as he pleased, but here, Dracula looks like my Uncle Leon, and he knows better than to go out in public, but that's a small nitpick. On paper, I don't have a problem with this movie. Since movies featuring well-known IPs are never ever going to go away, if you have to make another Dracula movie, I'd rather them do something newish like this that we haven't seen before. The Demeter is rarely shown in Dracula adaptations, so this might be kind of new ground. Ground, get it? 'Cause dirt? New ground for some people. But I'll tell you what really killed my interest in this movie. The movie indulges in the immediate res narrative device. We start with the ship washed ashore somewhere in Britain. Everyone on board is dead. The captain's log says something ominous. Flashback, it's daytime. We're recruiting deckhands for the ship. Someone says something funny. We all laugh. Except I've lost all interest in seeing these characters persevere through whatever the movie's going to throw at them because you've just told me they all die. And don't say you knew that if you knew anything about the book. Yes, but I'd say there's a chance many people who didn't read the book didn't know the fates of these characters were sealed. And since our main character ends up surviving somehow, and he's not even in the book, I can't use my knowledge of the book as a barometer of what will happen in the movie. I cannot think of any story ever that tells you the ending, especially a pretty bleak ending like this one, right up front and does it well. There's a reason our society frowns on spoilers, because we don't like it. Let us be surprised that everyone dies. Director, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, said this is basically Alien, but a vampire on a boat instead of a spaceship. You know what Alien didn't do? Tell us that everyone dies. Even if you watch the trailer to that movie, it doesn't give you any plot stuff at all. It's mostly operating on vibes. But you can tell this is a horror movie set in space. You've seen horror movies, you know someone's going to die, you don't know who, and you don't know that it's almost everyone except Sigourney Weaver. But if you've seen Hitchcock's Birds, you know this lady, and you form an attachment to her, you get a gut punch when she dies. You don't get that if someone tells you at the beginning she's going to die. If you didn't know this was an expansion of a couple of pages from the novel Dracula, you might allow yourself to think Davos from Game of Thrones will come out of this alive, or Polka Dot Man, or, okay, I got nothing, I barely know any of the cast. Even though creative writing instructors will tell you there are rules to this craft, there really aren't. You can do whatever you want. Maybe you think it would be funny to tell us everyone died and see our interest dwindle to nothing. I don't know. But even if you think it's stifling to have to follow the rules of storytelling, if you're going to make the next Last Voyage of the Demeter, maybe ask yourself, is there a reason masters of the craft tell us to follow these rules when telling our stories?